One of the first things most guitarists learn is this C chord. But if you play it with all 6 strings, it sounds a little muddy. I think this sounds a little better. The difference is, instead of playing this open E string on the bottom, I put my ring finger on the 3rd fret on the low E string to play this G on the bottom, and then this is the chord that results. Compare that to the open E on the bottom. Here it is with the G on the bottom. So yeah, I think the G on the bottom sounds a lot clearer. But I also like playing the chord this way because it's easier to move it around on the fretboard. There are a lot of really interesting spicy harmony things that happen if you move it up this way. All those chords are actually really useful if you know what to do with them. Let's look at the notes in each chord, name them, and make a little music with them. No matter where I move this chord around, there is going to be a major triad built into it. All the notes that you fret are going to form a major chord. And then you're going to have these open G and E strings that are going to do a different thing against each chord. Over the C chord, the G is the 5th and the E is the 3rd, and so they fit really nicely in the C chord. But if I move everything up a half step, you have this triad still, this major chord, but there's this open G and E that have stayed the same while everything else has moved. So this D flat major chord with an open G, that's actually a D flat major with a sharp 11. And then if I put in the E, that's the sharp 9. So I have a sharp 9 and a sharp 11. That's going to be spicy. But there's some good melodic possibilities that come out of that. La, 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 ooh, ooh. That sounds pretty. The next one is a D major triad paired with the open G and E. The open G is the
11
and the E is the 9. D major
11
and 9. And it's a nice consonant chord. I really like singing the top 4 notes of these chords. Da, da, da. There's good melody ideas in there. The next spicy one is this E flat major triad, and the open G is the major 3rd, so that's pretty normal. So all the way up to the B string we have this E flat major chord, but when I enter into E natural, the open E string territory, that's the flat 9, so it's major with a flat 9 on top. This open E, the flat 9, really wants to go back to E flat. The next spicy chord is this E major with the open G and E. The open G is the sharp 9 of the chord, and the open E is the 1 of the chord. So I like singing like Next we have an F major triad, and an open G string is the 9, and then the open E is the major 7. So F major 7, 9, very nice. The next spicy chord is this F sharp major triad, and it has an open G, which is like a flat 9, and then the open E, which is the flat 7. So it's like an F sharp 7 flat 9, which is an ideal chord to resolve down to B minor. But it also sounds good if it resolves up a half step to G major, which, funny enough, you can get just by shifting this chord shape up 1 fret. So that's a nice resolution. And yeah, this G major here, it's almost a perfect G major, but it's got this E in it, which makes it a G major with a 6. I like going D to the F sharp to the G. Back to Spicy Town, we have this A flat major chord, and the open G is the major 7th, which I think sounds really cool. And then the open E on top, that's going to be
flat 13.
Once again, this one sounds great if you sing the top 4 notes. Next up, we have an A major triad, and the open G is the dominant 7 or the flat 7, makes it A7, and then the open E is just the 5th of the A major, so it's just a clean A7 voicing, which likes to resolve down to D major. It also sounds pretty cool moving up a half step like this to B flat major. So yeah, when we go up a half step from that A7, we get to a B flat major triad with an open G, which is the 6. And then we have the open E, which is the sharp 11. So it's B flat with a 6 and a sharp 11. And I think that sounds really nice. That's a great Lydian sound. And now for the last one, up a half step from there, we have a B major triad, and then the open G is the
flat 13,
and then the open E is the 11. And that one sounds really nice when you sing the top 4 strings. By taking any of these chords and building melodies on top of them that are made up of the notes from this chord, you can start to get new sounds. Who would ever thought that that would sound so cool? If you'd like to take music lessons with me, head on over to benlevinmusicschool.com where you can see my calendar and pick a time that works for you. Have fun finding new chords, and I hope you have a great time. Till next time.